Hi everyone, welcome into this week's My Weekly CBS Fix. This week's Parsha is Parshas Miketz, and the Torah tells us, Vayhi Miketz Shnasayim Yamim, and it was at the end of 2 years. And our sages question the language of Shnasayim Yamim. It should have said Shnasayim Shanim. Shnasayim Yamim means 2 days, it sounds like, or 2 years and days, as opposed to just saying Shnasayim Shanim, 2 years. So there's a few answers. One of the answers is that to Yosef, who was in prison, in the dungeons, it seemed to him like it was just simply a couple of days. And the reason is given is because a saint, a righteous person like Joseph, has a lot of trust in Hashem, and because of that level of trust in Hashem, it seemed to have gone by in a snap. An idea I want to share with you is to kind of explain this is as follows. There is a famous commentary from the Alshich HaKadosh, one of the commentaries on the Torah, who says on the verse that when Jacob was working for Rachel, the Torah says that it seemed like singular days because based on how much love he had for Rachel, meaning Jacob had to work for Rachel for 7 years. And the Torah tells us that these 7 years seemed like single days because of how much he loved her. And everybody asks the famous question, what do you mean it seemed like 7 days? It seemed like a few days. If you love something so much and every single moment seems like forever, not the reverse. So the Alshich answers is that this verse is talking about after he had married her. After he had married her, the payoff was so immense for him that what he had to pay for it, the 7 years, seemed trivial, seemed like nothing. It seemed like single days. That's how amazing Rachel was as a wife. And I want to talk about this concept as well because we can relate this to our life as well. Many times there's difficulties we have in our life. I'll give you an example. When a woman conceives, from the moment of conception and on, her life kind of takes a physical turn for the worse. She may throw up, she may feel sick in other ways, and then once she has the baby, giving birth is not easy, and then raising the child and not sleeping enough. But it all becomes worth it the second the child takes that first step. It's something that looks kind of like this. Oh my gosh, he took a step! Right? Now, in that moment, in that step, or the first time he or she says a word, it all becomes worth it. The payoff is worth it. All the pain that she suffered for, she's right now experienced such joy from that moment when the child takes a step or speaks that first word, or further on in life, at his bar mitzvah, or at the child's wedding. Oh, it's all worth it. As a matter of fact, some people have a life of suffering. And when a person receives their reward in the world to come, the payoff is so incredible. It makes this world seem to have been completely forgotten, completely trivial. And when it comes to Joseph as well, we can also say that the 2 days, the 2 years to him seem like days, because go from down in the dungeons all the way up to being the second in command over the entire land of Egypt, it was an incredible payoff for Joseph. And so therefore, the 2 years that he had to wait seemed like single days. And so therefore, that's why it says Shnasayim Yamim. What I'm a little not satisfied is that this kind of takes Joseph down a level because of the payoff. Well, the reason why Joseph was amazing is because with Jacob, he knew at the end he would marry Rachel. And the woman, she knew that eventually her child would take that first step. And we know that when we pass on, we'll go to the world to come. But what was special about Joseph, and that's why he's Joseph the righteous, is that he had no idea that he was going to become the second in command, the vice president, the viceroy over the entire land of Egypt. Yet he believed. So why did he believe? Why did he have such trust? Because a saint is able to elevate his life, that even when something seems bleak right now, he has such trust in Hashem that it doesn't even seem to him as if he's suffering. And they seem like single days, doesn't matter. And so therefore, that's the righteousness of Joseph. Now, if we can get to that level, great. But if not, we should realize that any type of suffering we have ultimately will have a payoff. That payoff will be so incredible that any struggle that we had leading up to that payoff will become but a dream. Have a great Shabbos. Thank you for listening.